CataractCoach.com, efficiency in the operating room. Now, one of the most common things I'm asked is, how do I get more efficient in the OR? Let me teach you. First thing is, you got to know what you're doing. You have to have a time study sheet. So you know, when's the patient in the room? When's the timeout done? When's the first incision? When's the end of the case? When you're out of the room? If you don't keep track of the timing like this, you'll never figure out where you can be more efficient. Now, I'll also tell you that the most important thing is not to be fast during the surgery. Don't be rushed. It's much easier to save 2 minutes from the patient in the room to the first incision rather than cut out 2 minutes from your actual surgical cut time. So more important to keep track of time so you know what's going on. Here's a resident who's doing these cases, and you can see we can track it all day long and see exactly when the patient's in the room, when they're out of the room, when the sedation's given, the pre-op, the drape, the actual surgery time, the wrap-up, the turnover. Everything can be calculated if you keep track of the time. And you want to know what's this total cycle time. So here this resident is doing a cycle time of about 1 hour per case. But even though the surgical cut time is 15, 18, 20 minutes. Now in the real world, for me, you're looking at cut times of 5, 6 minutes, maybe 7 minutes, and then cycle times of 20 minutes or so. But it's okay. Even if your cycle time is 1 hour, you won't understand anything until you learn to track your time. Now, you can make your own time study sheets. There's no magic here. You just have to do it. Quit delaying and actually do it. Show that you care. And again, by keeping track of all these times, you're able to sit there and analyze afterwards what's going on here. Now, this is an old sheet. I don't do this anymore. I retired from teaching residents last year in 2022. But here's an example. Teaching hospital with a senior resident, you can see it's an 18-minute cut time for the surgery, but there's a lot of wasted time of getting in the room and setting things up and doing a timeout and even leaving the room. 14 patients from you're done with the surgery till I get the next patient there. It's too much time. You need to be able to figure this out and be a lot more efficient than this. So this is just not appropriate. So the time that's wasted here is not the actual cut time. It's the other time. The prep time, the cleanup time, things of this nature, and those you can solve. So here's afterwards when you optimize it. Now look, 3 minutes to set the room up, 5 minutes for prepping and draping, 18 minutes, the same actual cut time as before, no difference. But then at the end of the case, 2 minutes to remove the drapes, and then 14 minutes to get the next patient in the room. So you can see you've dropped the cycle time from an hour to about 40 minutes by simply taking the slack out of the non-surgical parts. It's not about the cut time. It's not about how fast you are during surgery. Do not speed up your surgical time. Just get the waste out of the other parts of your procedures. And I think that's probably the most important take-home lesson I can give you is quit wasting time. So here's our private surgery center, 24-minute cycle time. Pretty good, right? 10 minutes for the actual surgery time. Everything else is pretty lean and efficient. Sounds like, doesn't it? But no, you can actually be a little bit better than this. You can do a cycle time that's better than 24 minutes. And so here it is. Now you've dropped it to 17 minutes. But look, the actual cut time for me here, 6 minutes. But in the room, a minute to set up. Timeout, 3 minutes. So by the time the patient's in the room to the first incision is about 4 minutes. Here's a real-life example of my cycle time. I timed all the cases. Here's from a couple years ago. I videoed all the cases, and I can show you that this video shows the start of each specific case. And you can see it's about 7 minutes setup, 7 minutes for surgery, 7 minute patient out of the room and clean up, turnover, etc. So 20-minute cycle time. There it is for a whole morning of a dozen cases, average cycle time of just under 21 minutes. And you can see the case times vary a little bit. Some cases were a little longer than others, but on average about 20, 21 minutes. And you can do this too. Again, this is examples that are shown by recording all my videos. And it says what time each video was recorded. So the time there on the timestamp is the start of each surgical case. And again, you can do this too. Not that difficult. This is from a couple years ago. We're obviously even more efficient with time. Let me show you a case in real time here. Unedited case, start to finish. I'm going to show you this, and you're going to see my surgical scrub tech there on the side. Now, if you look carefully on the background of the room there, you can see the monitor on the microscope. That's the exact same view as the inset here on the bottom left of your screen. So you can see now, important thing here I want to tell you is I don't look away from the surgical microscope. My scrub tech, this assistant, is amazing. Amazing. And so things are handed to me in the correct step. That video monitor there on the microscope is not for me. It's for the assistant. So she can see exactly what I'm doing at every step and therefore hand me the appropriate instrument and knowing what to do at every single step. So here I'm doing the capsulorhexis. What do you think's already in her hand? The balanced salt solution on blunt cannula, because as soon as I'm done with this rhexis, she's going to give me that BSS on the cannula so I can do the hydrodissection. And when I do this, I won't even have to look away. Watch this. When I finish this rhexis, I literally, with one hand, she'll take the forceps from my hand, and her other hand will give me the balanced salt solution on the blunt cannula. Watch. I don't even look away. One hand gives, one hand takes. Done. Just like that. I don't look away from the microscope. So now this is a case where it's, again, real time, not edited, not sped up. And you'll see it's a 5 minute or less than 5 minutes of surgical time. And this is not just because of me. This is because of the entire team, especially that scrub tech, the one there with the rose petals, the roses on her scrub hat. She's amazing. And as we keep doing these cases here, you'll see I don't have to look away from the microscope at all. Here comes the phaco probe, and look what she's doing now. As I got the phaco probe in the eye, and I'm taking that cataract out, what is she doing? She just left for a second to get what? The IOL, which we've already confirmed ahead of time. The IOL power we already know. She's going to get that IOL, and she's going to load that up while I'm not even paying attention. I'm doing my own thing. Here she is on her back table, loading the lens, getting things prepared. Next is going to be the IA probe for me. Here we go. A little glitch there in the video, but now we can see. Clean that up pretty fast, pretty nicely. There you go. We'll take out the IA probe and put that in the eye next. And look, she's already got the lens loaded. She's just so good, so on top of it. So now setting up, though that's the IOL in her hand right now. Here you go, switching over to the IA probe. Now I have just a moment or two. I click the foot pedal to switch to the next setting on the phaco machine. Now the IA probe goes into my hand, squirting the eye and putting the probe inside the eye. Notice how we don't even ask her to squirt the eye. Why waste time? I can squirt it. What little I need, I can be very efficient here. And now we're cleaning this up. Look, the IOL is already preloaded on her table. I'll clean up the cortex here, nice and clean. She'll give me the cohesive viscoelastic in my hand as I take this probe out. Here comes the cleanup. Finally, it's done. Looking good, little capsule polishing even. This is a nice looking case here. So now, in my hand goes the cohesive viscoelastic, filling up that capsular bag, nice and easy. And then I won't even look away from the microscope. She takes the viscoelastic, and my other hand puts the IOL. I can now deliver that lens into the capsular bag. Here it comes, preloaded lens. She just put the viscoelastic there and got it primed up, ready to go. Deliver that lens in the capsular bag. So again, remember, it's an entire team here. So while it's very attractive to surgeons to say, wow, I decreased my cut time to only X number of minutes, you know what? That's important, but it's really more important to decrease the other times in your surgery center. So from the time the patient's in the room to the first incision, let that be just a couple of minutes. And when you're done with the case, let's get this patient out of the room pronto, right away, to make sure we're not wasting any time. And then certainly, if you want to be more efficient of the actual surgical parts, well, come on. I've got so many hundreds and even I got thousands of videos on CataractCoach that you can learn from, and you can figure out how to be a better, more efficient surgeon during surgery. But I think the first step is figuring out how to be efficient in the non-surgical parts of your day. Patient in the room, timeout done, draping on, etc., and then at the end of the case. That's so much more important than worrying about trying to hurry up the case. And if you want to be efficient during surgery, remember, it's a team effort. Have great staff members. Thanks for watching my video. Remember, so much more material on CataractCoach.com. Check it out. I've got a new video every single day, and we're up to more than 1,800 videos, and soon here in 2023, we'll surpass the 2,000 video mark. There's certainly a lot of material that you can learn from, and again, a new video every single day. Check it out.